Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is my second video, and before we start I would like to really thank everyone who liked my first video and who subscribed for me. Before I got to the point where I started filming my own videos, I always was quite greedy to likes, never used to like any videos. Even if the video was really good, I still wouldn't always like it. But since I started filming my own ones, I understand how really important it is. So please, if you like it, if you find it interesting, if you find it useful, please click the like button, comment below. I would really appreciate it. It gives me courage, it gives me hope that what I'm doing is right, and it motivates me to do more. So for those of you who see me for the first time, I'll just quickly remind you who I am. I'm originally from Ukraine and now I live in England. I am a young mother and I have a lot of free time because of my baby. I can't really go to work and I don't want to because I would like to spend more time with my baby. So I was thinking of ways to be financially beneficial for my family, and this is how I came to the topic of investing. I started only in August and I'm filming this in February, and so far my results are really good. I'm very satisfied with them. So on this channel I try to share the information that I wish I knew or I found when I was starting. In my previous video I recommended the platform called Etoro. I showed my profile, I spoke about how this platform works. If you haven't seen it and you would like to know, I will leave the link in the description. And in today's video we will be talking about copying people, copying popular investors on Etoro. At the beginning, when I just joined Etoro, I was only copying other people. I didn't buy my first shares for several months because I wasn't confident enough. And also my idea was that those people who are doing it for many years, who have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, they literally spend the whole day researching the companies, reading about them, looking through the reports. Surely they know better what they're doing than I do. Since then I tried buying several shares. Some of them were profitable, some of them were not, but I still think that the best thing I could do at the beginning and even until now is to copy other professional, more knowledgeable people. Those people who are better in investing and trading than I am, and I think there are a lot of people like that. When I saw the number of people that were available to copy, it was so big that it took me several weeks of research, of reading about these people, trying to understand the right ways of how to choose the good person to copy. And in this video I intend to show you the people who I copy, and I'll explain why I chose these people. Of course, if you decide to copy someone, it has to be your own choice, and I'm pretty sure that everyone should have their own rules and principles of how to choose people to copy. But my strategy has worked for me well so far, and I really keep my fingers crossed that someone will find this information useful. From the very beginning you will notice that next to the picture of every investor there is a star, and this star has different color. This star indicates the level of the investor. You can find it online. I just googled it and I will just quickly show you. The color corresponds to the name. And as you can see, the highest level is Elite Pro, this one here. To me personally, it is quite important because if a person has a black star next to it, that means that this is the highest level of investors. You can see the criteria of how the Etoro platform chooses and accepts people to this club, and this criteria is quite high. So they have to be at the previous level for at least 2 months. They have to have at least $50,000 in their account, and they have to be in control of a lot of money. And I think if the person is already in control of a lot of money, that probably means that they are level-headed and they have a lot of experience and a lot of trust from other people who have potentially been copying this person for a longer period of time than me. So I find it very important. Now let's look at people who I copy personally. I started copying them from the very beginning and I kept on going because I was satisfied with the results. If you click on the name of every investor, whoever interests you, you will see the same kind of page. At the beginning you see the feed, so you see the posts that this person writes. Usually they just update their copiers, explain the mistakes or profits that they made. some decisions as well, so that you can understand better their way of investing. Then you can see the stats, you can see the portfolio and the chart. I usually start my research with stats, and then I also look at portfolio. In general, I think that the idea of copying people is amazing and it's just genius, because it gives you the possibility to diversify your portfolio through diversifying people who you copy, and then inside these people's portfolio you also have that diversification because they also invest in many different companies. And on top of that, you also don't pay any commission for that. They get their commission from Etoro, but not from you. All the profit that they make is yours. This is Nemesis, and he is the first guy who I started to copy in August when I just joined Etoro. Since then, I've been very much satisfied with the results that he brought. But unfortunately, I think nowadays you're not allowed to copy him anymore because he reached some limit and there are too many people who wanted to copy him. So I think someone in the middle of January, they stopped this option. You have plenty of other people to choose from. But anyway, Nemesis is number one. The next person I started copying was Olivier. And look why I chose him, because this is the guy who you can still copy. So first of all, he trades only currencies, Forex. And I liked it because Nemesis doesn't trade currencies. He trades only shares, stocks and shares. So in my head, it was a good diversification. I have one investor to invest into companies, and I have a second investor to invest into currencies. So I looked at his stats, and his stats is absolutely amazing because this guy has never been in a loss. All the months, every single month, he's been in profit. Yeah, his profit is not so high, you know, it's not 100%, it's not 50, not 30, not 10, but I felt quite safe with putting my money into him. When I choose an investor, first of all, I look at the stats. I see how consistent they are. I don't feel confident enough to invest into someone who's been there just for a year or has just several months of history. Even if their returns are high, I'm afraid that as soon as I start copying them, it may go down. Of course, I understand that there is a risk involved with all sorts of investing, but still, I think it's just reassuring. Then I go down, and this is the second most important thing for me, is this average risk score. Olivier's risk score is 1. As you can understand, it is very, very low. That's why I feel pretty confident. I don't mind that he doesn't make much money with the bank interest rates that you get nowadays. I think that anything above 1% is already good, and I think he makes over 1% for sure. In my head, it's almost as safe as keeping my money in the bank. I might be wrong, and I completely depend on this person. Please don't take it as a financial advice and always do your own research. I just tell you what has worked for me. He has 9,000 copiers. This is not that many, but this is quite a lot. And I think that many people don't want to copy him because he is a very careful investor. I would rather have my $500 there, but safe and not lose any money. Although when I see the results of other people, of other investors, it's quite tempting just to take this $500 and put into someone with higher returns. I also pay attention at how often they trade. This guy has 955 total trades. It's actually not that bad. Then I see some additional stats. So Olivier makes 17 trades per week on average, and he holds for 4 days. If someone holds their shares for 2 or 3 years, then what's the point? I look at the portfolio as well. Truly speaking, with Olivier, because I don't know much about Forex trading, I don't know much about currencies, I just look at what he trades because I'm obviously buying whatever he's buying. But here it says that he has 92% balance. That means that 92% of his money he hasn't invested into anything. This is what I think many people don't like about him, but I personally don't mind. Going back to my portfolio, the next guy is Jep Kirkbond. I started copying him in December, and I am quite satisfied with how it's going at the moment. He says that he on average makes 30% return per year. That is true by looking at his statistics, but again, it doesn't mean much because so far it's been good, but you don't know how the next year will go. It's not that difficult to make money when the market grows. What I like about Jep is that he has a very long history. He joined Etoro in 2013. There were years when he lost some money, like in 2014 he lost 14%, in 2018 he lost 12%. From what I've seen, 2018 was a bad year for many people, and lots of people lost a lot more than 12%, so that's why I think 12% is also a good result. His average risk score is 4, and I'm satisfied with that. This guy has 24,000 copiers, so you can imagine how many more people copy him, how many people trust him. And the more copiers they have, obviously, the more trust they have towards them as well. Then you go down, see the additional stats. He doesn't trade as often as Olivier, and his average holding time is 7 months. That means that if you want to start copying him, you should probably start with open trades, otherwise you will have to wait for a long time before your money actually starts working, because you have to wait for him to open new positions. All of the popular investors have a bio, which you can read to get the general idea about the person, and I usually do it as well, but I usually do it already after I checked their stats. So with Jep, I liked his ideas, and I like the companies that he invests in. I saw that he invests not just in American companies, but a lot of them are somewhere in Europe, I suppose. I think Danish companies, and a lot of them are green energy companies. I just like this idea. They also usually say what is the minimum amount you have to start copying them with. It's more like a recommendation, because if you start investing them with less than this sum, that means that some of the trades they open might not get opened for you. All the copies are opened in percentage, and if it is less than $1, the trade will just not get opened. He recommends to start copying him with $450. When I started, I put just $200 into him. Now I have more because I was adding some funds from time to time. And then he says that some investors copy him with $100,000. Well, that's definitely not me, but good luck to them. I hope it definitely works for everybody. Next guy who I started copy was Baltic Seal. What I liked about Baltic Seal, and he's the only guy with the green star, which I don't mind at all, I just think he's so level-headed. He has a lot of experience, judging by what he says on his bio, but he doesn't have such a long history on Etoro. In his bio, he says that he's been trading for over 20 years, but he's just recently joined Etoro. You know, that's also possible. Obviously, not all traders started their career on Etoro. Some of them were doing it for years and years before it even appeared. Everybody can say that I've been trading for 30, 40 years, but for some reason I just like this guy. I just like the way he thinks, I like his logic, and I just agree with him in many things that he shares. He has a very low average risk score of 3. He has only 2,000 people who copy him, and I completely don't mind that. My returns with him are okay. Additional stats also show that on average he holds shares for 2.5 months, and he makes only 1 trade per week. He says in his bio that he has a job, his main job, and this is just more like a hobby for him. But in things he says, he seems very level-headed, and for example, I really like the fact that he doesn't trade any Bitcoin, any cryptocurrencies at the moment. He had some, and then he wrote a post saying that he cannot mentally stand such huge swings that were happening to Bitcoin, Ethereum and so on in the last several months, so he just closed all of these positions. And I just started respecting him, even just for the fact that he was so honest about why he closed these positions. I agree, if you are not morally ready, it's better not to do it at all, but especially when you are responsible for other people's money. Can you imagine the pressure that these people have on their heads for the money of other people, and when they start losing money, people start writing bad comments about them? I think it must be very, very difficult. He doesn't seem to get into something that he doesn't know. That's what I like. And the last guy who I copy is Wesley. I've just started copying him several days ago, and I can explain to you why I like this guy. First of all, look at his stats, and his stats, he's also Elite Pro, he has the black star next to his name. He has a very long history. It's maybe not as stable as the other guys because he has quite a lot of red months, but at the end of the year the statistics is pretty cool. In 2017 he made only 66% profit, and in 2018 he lost 32%. The average risk score is 4. Happy with that. He has nearly 16,000 followers. He trades more of a mainstream companies because he trades Alibaba, Disney, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, and so on. These are the companies that I would like to buy myself and keep long term. But he obviously trades them, means that he's also selling them when he thinks that the price is good and then buys again when it goes down. So I just hope that he knows what he's doing better than I do. He makes only 7 trades per week, which is not a lot, and he holds his shares for 5 months on average. That also to me indicates that if someone wants to start copying him, it's probably better to copy with open trades, because otherwise you will just have to wait for a long time for your money to start working. What I like about Wesley as well is that he's very active. He's updating people all the time on the market, what's going on, his thoughts, and so on. As I said, I started copying him only several days ago, but I already had 3 or 4 updates from him. I think it's good when the investor stays in close connection to the people who copy him, because you can always comment, you can ask your questions, you will probably get a response from them. I just think it's nice. Last thing I would like to say is that even though I already copy several people, I'm constantly looking for new people to start copy, and of course don't start copying people just solely on my recommendation or anyone else's recommendation really. Do your own research and choose the people who you like, who you trust, and please remember that investing always involves a lot of risks and you are responsible for your money. Thank you very much for watching this video to the end. Bye bye.